Hi, my name is Jared, and in this video, I will demonstrate the use of a foam roller as a therapeutic self-care prop. I find that a foam roller is one of the most infamous fitness devices out there. It's like so many of us have one or have access to one, but we just are intimidated to use them because, for good reason, they're powerful. It's taken me literally years to feel comfortable enough to roll regularly, and mostly that was just because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And spent a lot of time learning about foam rollers and just wellness modalities for oneself, and this is what I've learned. So I hope you enjoy. Be aware that I am, I guess, fairly adept at rolling now, and it's true what they say. Fully testify to that if you roll often, it's less intense. So I may demonstrate some stuff that you won't feel comfortable with, maybe not yet. Just let this video be inspiration. You'll get there if you put the time. Cool. So to start out with, I generally start on my shins. It's an area that gets tight very often on people, and we really don't spend any time on it. So this may be a lot right at once. So just roll slowly. A lot of people roll quickly, and that's really not doing much. It's kind of like a waste of time, to be honest. Speed is depth. So you want to get that deeper fascia, the deeper connective tissue, and to do that you have to go slow, like kneading out tough, cold dough. You gotta warm it up. So rolling and breathing. Focus on your exhale. You have likely too much stuff in your legs, so exhale it out. Cool. Now bring your hips to your right heel, feeling the outside of your right shin. Take the time to go to the tippity bottom of the knee to the tippity top of the ankle. Maybe roll on top of the foot a little bit. You can wiggle the foot as well, whatever the one you're rolling on, because that's what we call the pin and stretch. If you're hiking and you're on the outside of your shin right now, this is called the peroneus muscle, also known as the fibularis. There are two of them. And it's responsible for picking up your foot for every step. And you know this after you hike because it's painful to walk up and down stairs. Cool. Now roll onto the outside of your left shin. So bring your hips to your left heel. Exhale. Breathe like that's the whole point of what we're doing. You may notice that your wrists are getting tired. If that's so, play around with flipping your palm, fingers towards you at first, to stretch the back of a wrist, maybe one at a time, or both at the same time. So I like to rock climb. That's my thing right now, then urban biking. So this is what I do in between climbs if I have a roller nearby, or definitely at the end of the climb. Stretching out my wrists as I'm rolling out my legs. Cool. Let your shins feel nice and loose. Walk the roller a little bit. As you come out onto your quads, keep your knees bent at first. Makes it a little bit easier. And you can play around with this, like totally getting floppy. Just kind of get on the ground and then kind of like rolling your legs around. This is effective. Remember, speed is depth, so linger Breathe. Roll to a new spot. Right now we're warming up our quads. Hence the name, there are 4 quads. So as you roll from side to side, you kind of will feel different stuff. So what do you notice? Where is it tighter? Where is it more sensitive? For me, it's my inner right quad and my outer left quad. That's because when I stand still, I tend to lean onto my left foot, my left leg more often than not. Cool. Once you feel like your quads are warmed up, then we're going to start to deeply explore. Keep your right leg where it is. As your left knee comes up, hover, place your left foot by your hand as you relax the top of the right foot down onto the ground. If you start to feel cramp somewhere, just move slowly and relax. It just creates smooth wiggles. Like right now, my right foot kind of wants to cramp. I climbed pretty hard today, and I think that's what I'm feeling now. A cramp indicates a severely tense yet and stuck muscle. A cramp is a self-defense, like a survival defense in a muscle. It prevents it from being torn, is what it's reacting to. And it may not be current, like I know my foot's not going to tear. That's why I'm breathing through it. If you breathe through a cramp and it relaxes, you've successfully deprogrammed that trigger, that muscle fear. Cool. I'm rolling my legs side to side. The cramp has just subsided, so now I'm more active. We're checking out the outside and the inside of the thigh. Feel the difference between when you bend the knee versus you elongate it. You can transition to stretching your left hip if you press your left hand onto your knee and you stretch the knee away. Look how my knee is going in the line of my toe. All in alignment. Some people talk about how compressing the knee this far isn't great. But it's like, if it feels okay, just be mindful of how much you do it. I do other things to undo it, which I'll make a video on later. So just follow your gut and breathe through it. And if it feels too much, back off. Whew. Cool. To transition, I go into a side plank. But this is one of those instances you may be like, nope. So if that's the case, come into your lunge and then just bring your left leg back. But I come onto my forearm, I lift up, engage my core, I leave my leg back, and I slide down the leg, super slow, well, up the leg. Now I roll to a new spot, and come up. The spots to focus on the most, in my opinion, are the outside quad where it meets the IT band. Tends to be a lot of knots at that junction. It's where the vastus lateralis meets the iliotibial band. Cool. Maybe get some hamstrings, or I'll save that later. Just a roller. Now we're back, checking out the quads. How do your legs feel? Can you feel a difference from the one that we just focused on to the other. Like it just, mine just really just feels like putty. Delicious, melty putty. Cool. Now your left leg stays where it is as we gracefully, like a foam rolling ninja, bring our right knee up, hovering, planting the foot by the hand, relaxing the top of the left foot down. It's amazing the difference in size. Like this foot feels great, and this quad surprisingly doesn't feel so tight. Gravity stretching, letting the leg roll down. I'm relaxing my hip flexors to allow for rolling. Cool. And then roll onto the outside. Ooh, there it is. Wiggle the foot when you feel it a lot. That is the pin and stretch. Maybe stretch the other side of your wrist. So we had palm up last time. Now palm down, fingers towards you. You'll feel the inside of your wrists. For this, I tend to lift up, focus on one wrist at a time. As you rotate open, you'll feel the forearms stretch, shift into the neck. That was cool. And the other side as I rotate to the inner thigh. If your knee is bent this far, take a moment to assess it. How does it feel to be bent this far? If it's too much, then come out. Right wrist's way tighter. And then I'm going to transition into a side plank from here. Follow your own path, what makes sense for you. I do this partly because it trains my core balance, which is climbing in the caves. Exhale as you roll down the side of the leg. And never done this before, that's cool. Just using one hand. Ooh, too much. There we go. Feel the difference in your legs. Feels so nice. Okay. When your quads feel ready, next thing we're going to do is to sit in a kneeling stance and put the roller on your calves and sit on it. Ooh. Like you're rolling a pizza dough. Wiggle from side to side slowly. This mainly focuses on the lower calf called the soleus muscle, and it's a muscle for elevation gain. Like it's more used for like when our knees are bent, like when we're running uphill or hiking mountains. Whew. Slowly wiggle the roller down towards the ankle. Remember, speed is depth. So when you feel something ridiculous, stop for a moment and rock your weight backwards. Lift up your chest. And wiggle. Get the roller down to a new spot when it feels right. When you get to the heel, check out that Achilles tendon. What does the top of your ankle feel like? If this is way too much, you can use a rolled up towel under where your feet are to pad up, see that towel? To pad up the ankle so it's less compressive, less intense. It actually gets a different spot, so it's not just less intense, it's just a different angle. Cool. From here I'll press my hand into the roller and use the, make sure you're more on the inside or you might break your roller. I roll backwards, letting my shoulders stretch and my neck stretch. And your jaw and your throat. Cool. Next up, our rib cage, torso, spine. So you want to sit next to the roller so that the short end is in front of you, and come onto your forearm. Your lower ribs are a little less stable than the upper ribs, so that's why we're on our forearm. And just like we've been doing this whole time, follow your breath and roll to the other side, checking out your rib cage along the way. We're checking out one rib at a time, slowly moving up the spine. Once you're halfway up, start to keep the hands up, interlace the fingers, reach them away as you roll side to side, pin and stretch. If you have watched the strap video, you'll feel like this is getting a similar spot, but just from a different angle. I find that the body is, like everyone talks about finding balance in their body, but really no one really talks about details into that. Physically speaking, the body has two kind of extremes, compression and expansion. Compression happens when we've been leaning on a spot and a knot will form, like a knot is compression. And expansion is kind of like plasticity. It's when something feels loose and unstable and vulnerable. Balance means that we are adding some stretch into whatever feels compressed, and we're securing whatever feels too expanded. So it's this technique for the rib cage is a compressive technique, while the strap is more expansive. Cool. Once you roll into the armpit, check out that chest muscle by reaching up the hand and drawing some circles with it, and then spiraling, finding all the different angles, drawing some circles, and then roll onto the tricep, bending the arm, extending the arm, bending, finding a new angle, bending, pin and stretching, tricep, and then into the bicep. It's hard to bend this one, so make a fist and roll your fist around while you're stretching your bicep on the roller. Bicep is a tricky muscle to stay loose because we can never really stretch it. To do so would require breaking the elbow, which I do not recommend. So when you roll it, that's one of the few ways you can wring it out. Cool, when you're all done with that arm, take a moment, a capital T over the roller. Take a break. This is a gravity stretch. What in your body is still clenching? Where are you holding? Can you feel the spots that we worked? Do they feel a little bit more relaxed? Can you feel the left arm we haven't worked yet? Can you feel how it's slightly a little bit more tense? Just breathe and feel. If you only do one thing with a foam roller, if really this is all that you're interested in, that's great because this is very effective. You're ready. The other armpit. Check out that chest muscle. Again, you reach the hand back, draw some circles, roll the palm. Your arms are different from one another, so you don't need to do the same thing on each side. That won't find you balance. Whoa, that's some stuff. Okay. Now for the tricep. Extend the arm, rotate, bend, extend, pin and stretch. Ooh. Bicep. Make a fist. Roll your fist around. Roll the other way. From here, we transition to our back. This is what everyone does in the roller because it feels so good. So I feel like I save it for this second to last because I kind of feel like I earn it a little bit, especially after the quads and that calf thing when you're sitting on it. That's just ridiculous. Play around with your elbows out or elbows in. I put my hands under my neck just to relax the neck. Give myself more space. Cool. Now, play around if you want core work. Lift up the leg. And feel your balance as you extend down and up. If you want to get some more calf stuff, you can place that lifted leg with the calf on your knee and use your knee as a massage prop as you roll around your foot. One of my great yoga friends, Karma, that's literally her name, she's a yoga teacher named Karma. She calls this the cricket, when you massage your calf with your knee. So cricket your legs, if that's a thing you're into. As you switch legs, rolling down. Massaging. You might feel bones pop, move around. It's generally a good sign. Chances are that's either your rib head readjusting its position in your transverse processes, which is how they connect to your spine. It's either that or it's like usually your literal vertebrae, their little feet, their pedicles and their fossas. That's how they connect to one another. Those stuff pop out all the time. You notice it when you get or give a big hug. The reason they pop out a lot is the ribs are designed to glide and slide as we breathe, so they're mobile. Cool. From here, roll the roller up your spine using your elbows like this until you get into the lower back. Engage your core. Sometimes you'll fall, that's okay. We're rolling, rounding our back, undoing the roll by rounding the back. So you extend the legs, massage your butt. Cool. Plant your left foot. And let's do the hamstring first. Extend your right leg. Sit up tall. That's why we're on the roller. You can kind of like roll the roller with your lift, with your arching. Extend through the heel. You have 3 hamstrings, so rotate the foot to get the different stuff. As you now start to reach, I start with my left hand usually, the opposite, to create a twist. And such a side bend. So I'm not reaching for my foot because, I mean, I sometimes get it. But, creating a stretch all the way from my foot to the roller, to my arm, to the lower back. As you reach forward, get something on your leg so you can twist it the other way. Roll the foot to get a different hamstring. As you reach. Feeling the expansion happen in the rib cage. That's kind of the big thing in this, because we just compressed the rib cage earlier with the rolling, so now we're opening it up. That, in a sense, is all therapies ever. We massage the tissues apart so that there's just more space between them, and then we stretch everything apart to find a new layer to massage out. So just step by step. Knead, stretch, knead, and stretch. Cool. Yeah, extend the left foot, plant the right foot, sit up tall. Really reaching through the heel. Feeling the hamstring, and check out the 3 hamstrings, rotating on the heel. So I reach with the right hand onto the inside of the leg and extend my left arm back. Deep breathing. This is pinpointing. I think I compress here when I sit. It's very common for right-handed computer, like mouse users, to lean more on their left side, their left lower back, because we're mousing with our right hand. Reaching forward, feeling a stretch of the whole side, and creating a rotation. Rotating the palm, the wrist, getting a stretch to move throughout my rotator cuff. Stretch inside and then rotate the other way. Getting your neck involved. Just do whatever feels good. That's the whole point of this. I don't need as much on this side. It already feels open. So I don't need to do the same thing on every side and spend the same amount of time. Cool. And one more. Plant the left foot onto the ground. I put my hands behind me as I put my right ankle on top of the knee. And I'm rolling out the outer hip. It's a little precarious. You can't roll very much because you'll fall off. But you can get the glute muscles, outer hips. There we go. And then switch sides, bringing your left ankle on your right knee as you roll out the outer hip on the left. Cool. Well, I hope you feel as good as I do. That was some good rolling. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you are feeling the benefits of stretching with me. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.